Hello, rising 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students at Leesville Road High School. This is Mr. Green, the Dean of Students, coming to you from the Student Services Office. And I appreciate your attention to this short video on the class registration process for the 22-23 school year. I'm going to first just go over some things that are on our school website so you know where to click after this presentation for the information that I'm going to share with you through a PowerPoint presentation. Just also know that this PowerPoint presentation that I'm recording today will also be on the website that you can look at it later or share it with your parents. So here we are at the main school's website. And if you go to the website here and click on registration link, LRHS 22-23 class registration information, it's going to take you to this flyer, and then you'll click here. And everything about registration for Leesville High School is included on this website. We have information, a PowerPoint that we shared with the school during our curriculum night toward the end of January. So you can look through that. It has some videos from the different department chairs, different departments about classes, so that might be helpful to you. You can skip the part about 8th grade students. Here's our timeline for the registration process, and I'll go over that in the PowerPoint, so I won't go over that specifically. One correction I do want to make is that PowerSchool won't be open until March the 1st for students to enter your classes, so just one day later than what is written here, and we'll get that updated. On this website as well, the most important, I think, thing on this website is this link here, which is a PowerPoint presentation, which is a description of every class we teach at Leesville. So if you're not sure of what a course is about, you can go to this link, click on the table of contents, click on maybe say career and technical education, and you can scroll through here and see a description of all the classes that are taught in the CTE department. So I feel like this part of the website is very helpful in helping you decide what classes to take if you don't know what the content of the class is. Here on the website is where we also have housed the applications and the information for classes that do require an application and for those that do require an audition. And I'll be covering that more in depth when I go through my PowerPoint presentation here in just a minute. Okay, so I'm now going to share that PowerPoint presentation with you, and I'm going to go through these slides. Okay, so here we are. We are at the start of the process for you to enter your classes for next year. And again, this is just another reference to the website I just showed you, the link where all the registration information can be found. Just going to go over the timeline. Your first semester and second semester teachers have already put in their teacher recommendations into your PowerSchool account. If you want to discuss that with your current teachers, then please do so. If you want to talk with your first semester teachers, you could email them or go find them in class and talk about their recommendations for their classes for you for next school year. Starting Monday, February 28th, and going through about the middle of March, the counselors are going to meet with all rising 10th, 11th, and 12th graders in the Media Center. And you'll come down in a small group with some other students, and you'll work on picking your classes with your counselor. As I noted, the PowerSchool will be open March 1st through the 25th for you to enter your classes into PowerSchool. Toward the end of April, we're going to let the teachers make some new recommendations for you in PowerSchool if they feel like they want to change the recommendation that they made in February when they first started getting to meet you, to look at it again and see if they want to make a change. And then we will give you an opportunity at the end of April to make some changes to your course selections. Again, it is your responsibility to put your classes into PowerSchool. It's very user-friendly on how to do it. And so you'll need to put your classes in and finalize those. But you can do that after you meet with your counselor and talk with your parents. If you need help resetting your PowerSchool account, any staff member here at the school can assist you with that. Just a couple points on picking classes, some guidelines for picking your classes. You'll need to pick 8 primary classes and 4 alternates. Primary classes are the 8 main classes you wish to take. Of course, a lot of that is going to include your core classes in English, math, science, and social studies, and the classes you need to graduate from high school. And then your other classes of your 8 could be just electives of your choice. We also want you to pick 4 alternates. So, and make sure those alternates, you take those seriously, because you will receive your core classes, the things you need to graduate from high school. But often, your electives get filled up or don't work in your schedule. And so the computer puts you in an alternate. So that's why those alternates, all of them, are important. And make sure that you would be happy with any classes you get, because choosing things or changing things in the fall sometimes it's difficult to do. You need to look at your overall class load. Many of you are very busy outside of school with other activities, sports, clubs, a job, taking care of siblings, etc. So we want you to challenge yourself and pick classes toward whatever goal you have for after high school, but don't overwhelm yourself, because everything in life is about a balance. And I think we've learned that even more over the last couple of years with COVID. We need to keep everything in balance, make sure we're taking care of ourselves and taking care of each other. So when you pick your classes, don't overdo it and overwhelm yourself with your workload. Another thing is to make sure you know what you're picking. You just don't want to blindly pick a class just because a friend took it or you heard it was fun or whatever. You need to know what is going to happen in the class. And that's where I showed you on the website. You can read a good description of the class so you can make some good choices and make sure your choices are informed choices. And as where I showed you earlier on the website, you can go there and find lots of good information about all the classes we teach at Leesville. Another thing is, our first goal with all students is to make sure that we get you registered for what you need to get your diploma. So that's our first step. But then the second goal would be, what is your plan after high school and what classes do you need to take to reach that goal? Depending on what you want to do after high school, make sure you're taking the appropriate classes. And your counselor can help you with that. You can get advice from obviously your parents, teachers, etc. But just make sure that you're picking classes that will help you reach your goal. There are a few classes that require an application. I showed you on the website where you can look at those applications. Here's the list again of the classes that do require an application. If you are in an arts class and are trying to audition for one of the upper level arts courses, we have some dates and information on the website about that, but probably your best resource is the teacher of that subject. So if you're interested in a particular art area and you want to audition for one of the upper level classes, then it's best to make sure you communicate with the teacher of that particular art class. So when you're looking at a class that requires an application or audition, we have PowerSchool set up to where you can put in that class. But if you don't get into the class, let's say you audition or you apply and you weren't selected, we will take you out of that and put you in one or more of your alternates. So just begin emphasizing again that your alternate choices are very important. And just make sure that you follow up with the teachers of any class that requires an audition or application. Just a quick checklist. You need to log into PowerSchool to view your teacher recommendations, talk with your teachers, talk with your parents, review graduation requirements, review the course list, what you can take here at Leesville. Then after you meet with your counselor and you talk with your parents, you can enter your classes into PowerSchool. Okay, today you have received or will receive a green packet, a registration packet. It's green colored. In that packet, again, is the registration timeline. And again, these were printed before we changed the date to March 1st for you to enter your classes. So that calendar change is in the packet, but just be aware of that. Again, you got a registration checklist, a list of graduation requirements, the class list, which is where you're going to pull your classes from. We've included a class sequence chart that helps you understand what is the next class in order by subject area based on graduation requirements. We also have an AP class sequence chart with just some recommendations on when most students take certain AP classes. And this year we have also included CCP information. CCP is College and Career Promise, and you can read the flyer. It's the last page in your packet. And it talks about the classes that high school students can take for free, college level courses that they can take at Wake Tech. And there are some helpful websites there that you can go and learn about CCP information, because many of you may want to, especially juniors and seniors, may want to take a couple classes here at Leesville, but then take advantage of the college transfer class through CCP. So again, just to summarize, the counselor conferences will start on February 28th and we'll go through March 16th. We start with juniors, then do sophomores, and then freshmen. Counselors will send you a pass the morning of your appointment through your first period teacher as to what time you will be coming down to the media center. And when you come to the media center, you're going to enter the media center and there'll be a sign with an arrow pointing you to the back right-hand corner of the media center. And you can follow the arrows to the back right-hand corner, and that's where the counselors will be. In the conference, you're going to get a most updated copy of your transcript, the graduation worksheet, and a class selection form. Now, the graduation registration worksheet is a chart that's going to have the classes listed on there that you have already taken and received credit for. That's the first semester of this school year. And then they'll have another check or an E for the class you're currently enrolled in. And then for the next column, it's going to have what the counselor recommends you take to meet graduation requirements. So if you're a rising sophomore, they're going to have filled out what you need to take your sophomore year, junior year, and senior year to first meet graduation requirements. If you're a current sophomore, they're going to fill in what you need to take as a junior and senior. And if you're a junior, they will just fill in one column to put down what you need to graduate next school year. On the class selection forms, there's going to be two of those. One of those is going to be for us to keep, just so we have some record of what you think you would like to take. The other one would be the one that you would take home and share with your parents. The core classes, the things you need to graduate, if you check those off on both sheets, the one you take home, those core classes really shouldn't change. If you need, English 4 and a certain math and a certain science to graduate, you need to leave that. You could change the level and say you want to do honors instead of regular, but the core classes, English, math, science, and social studies, the things you need to get your diploma, you need to leave that. The level you can change, and the electives you pick can change before you actually put them into PowerSchool. It's really helpful if you can come to your meeting with your counselor with the classes that you plan to take already in mind. This is especially important for juniors who are going to be seniors. Most rising seniors only need a couple of classes to graduate. So they're going to need to pick several electives to round out the 8 total that they might want to take. But for all grade levels, it's important if you can come with some idea of what you'd like to take next year. After you've met with your counselor, talked with your parents, gathered all the information that you can, it's your responsibility to enter the classes into PowerSchool. So that will be up for you to do by the end of March 25th. And just another reminder, this is not a first come, first served process. As long as you enter your classes by March 25th, you are good to go. So just because you're a freshman and won't meet with the counselor until a week and a half from now, it doesn't change what you have access to or what you can put in the computer or your ability. So don't get anxious about that. Just again, it's as long as you have put your classes into the computer by March the 25th, you're going to be on a level playing field with everyone. Okay, so I've got done with the slides and I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And that concludes the presentation today. And we look forward to seeing you starting next Monday, the 28th, in the Media Center to assist you in planning your courses and classes for next year. Thanks for your attention.